Hello and welcome to everyone. So, we are going to start with big data and data science, and this topic is our introduction topic. So, we are going to introduce to all of you to a term called big data. What does this means of big data? Sometimes we hear some students saying big data is on the size of the data, but it does not only actually depend on the size. There are other characteristics of big data that you need to learn to fully understand the concept. So this topic we are going to go in detail about the definition of big data. So name of the topic and theme of the course. So large scale data management on the enterprises and corporates. We are going to look into that. Some of the data analytics and of course data science and other data analytic details also we are going to look about. In short, how to manage very large amount of data. This is actually a big problem to the corporates today because data are growing, customers increase in transactions increase in different types of data has been increased, different information has been stored, processed in different ways. So every day data are growing, and it's very important to extract some values from the data. Okay, there are some hidden information values that very important for the businesses. So how that extraction takes place, especially for marketing purposes or other purposes, we need to extract some value from the data and gain some knowledge of the data too. So what is big data and what makes a data called big? So according to the definition, big data is data whose scale, diversity, and complexity requires new architecture, techniques, algorithms, and analytics to manage it and extract the value and to come up with the hidden knowledge of that. So these three things is there in data. So data volumes of data has been growing every day exponentially, right? Now it's terabytes. Soon it will become petabytes or exabytes or zettabytes. It's growing every day. So how many number of tweets per day people are saying? Social media, like one of the examples of big data take from the Twitter. Second thing is complexity, means the variety. Like inside one data, there is different formats of data, different types of data are there. Right, so some of the static data, so text based or numeric data, image data are there. So we have to very carefully extract those data to know it. Third one is the speed, means the velocity. So how often the data is being generated fast and which need to be processed fast, and the online data analytics, late decisions and missing opportunities. Right, for example, like e-promotions based on e-commerce sites, based on your current location, your purchase history as a customer, what item, what day you have purchased in 10 years ago, like all those data, people are keeping those things. And healthcare monitoring, your heart rate, your blood sugar, like so many data, governments and other institutes they are taking many information. So basically in big data we have three things which actually is divided into three V's, right? So big data is a summation of transaction, interaction, and observation. These three things together becomes big data. When it comes with the ERP system about corporates, how things has been managed from customer relationships to web-based to the big data, it's actually becoming like it's growing from megabytes to gigabytes to terabytes. And the three V's actually is based on these three things: complexity, speed, and volume. So which I'm going to show you in V's. First V is the volume, that is actually the size. Velocity is the speed, and variety. So if you understand these three things, means you have a good understanding of the big data. But if you only talk about volume, means you are just understanding one third of big data. So some people, some authors, they say big data has four V's, right? First is the volume, the size. the speed, velocity, variety, the types of data, different forms, and there's one more thing called veracity, means data in doubt, means there are some uncertainty due to data inconsistency, like some data sets we have missing numbers, some kind of inaccurate numbers, false numbers, damaged or corrupt numbers. So we have this incompleteness, ambiguous, latencies. So all of those doubt data which also we have to manage that. So harnessing the big data, right, reporting and human analytics and analysis of current data to improve that your business transactions every day. Okay, and data in motion, so like real time processing of data. OLP stands for online transaction processing, that comes with database management systems. OLAP comes with online analytical processing, like data warehouse, and we are going to store the data in somewhere. And RTAP comes with real time analytic processing, so a mix of both. So who are the people generating this big data? Social media networks. Every day people log into Facebook, Twitter, and like they input some text, some upload some photos, and do share things. So like so many contents are actually getting increased. Scientific instruments, of course, like rain gauge, other monitoring systems, weather forecast systems. Mobile devices, of course, their tracking devices are there. The phone will also know your location and some other information about you. Sensor-based technologies today, right? We generate, like for example, temperature and smoke detectors. So many data are actually being collected. So the progress in innovation is no longer that can hinder the ability of collecting the data, but it also by the ability to manage, analyze, summarize, and of course visualize. This is very important. The collected data we have to present, we have to visualize in a meaningful way and discover the knowledge of collecting those data. So model has changed. The old model means few companies are generating data and all companies are consuming the data. So the data generated people are less. But here in new model, all of us generating data and all of us are also consuming data. So what derives the business data? Okay, the business value and complexity of the data. So in here we have two angles. We have the business intelligence. In every company we have like some kind of marketing purposes, or for some business intelligence reasons are there. That's why we have to very carefully manage the data. And we have predictive analysis and data mining. Very important one. So the data that we store, somehow we have to mine that, filter that, generate some reports to management or board members. So the data mining has to be also very carefully managed. So business intelligence like ad hoc coding and reporting and data mining techniques, structured data comes there. In predictive analysis, we have optimizations, predictive analytics, and complex and statistical analysis. All types of data and many sources and very large data sets and more of data real. Then value of big data analytics. So why when we need this big data analysis? So big data is more real time. It means it takes the current context of the data. And traditional DW architectures, example like Exadata or Teradata, are not actually most suitable for big apps. Okay, so that's why we need these big data applications. And shared nothing and massively parallel processings are being done in big data analytics. So challenges in handling big data, there are some limitations. The first thing is the bottleneck is technology. We need new architectures and we need new algorithms. Okay, how to manage a large set of data, how the processing of those data, and also some technical skills. We need people to be skilled, educated, trained to manage the big data. So like lack of software technologies available for big data is quite new technology. Lack of analytical skills and insufficient budget and already. So what technology do we have? So these are some of the examples of technologies in industry today we have, and this is some of the companies they do work on that. In business intelligence we have Oracle, we have SAP and others. Media apps, we have media science and turn, and we have data as a service, also cloud based. We have analytical software like Cloudera, and we have like structural databases, Oracle, SQL Server, DB2 we have. And in the terms of the technologies, we have Hadoop, we have Manhout and HBase and some other tech. So this is the moving parts of the big data. We start in from terabytes. Actually, big data does not have a definite size, but we are just defined it should be large enough. But for your assignment, maybe not terabytes, but a little lesser one we may accept because it's just a academic exercise. You have to select a data set and do some processing for that. Alright, this is some of the examples. So we are going to go in detail of these tools. So you will learn about Hadoop and other MapReduce technologies. Learn the platforms. Learn write in Hadoop jobs. Even if we have time, we are going to go into that Hadoop job parts too. Learn the analytics tools of Hadoop. Let me get back one more point into that. You have two assessments. One is assignment and exam. That I'm going to brief you in the chat session today. So I'll share some textbooks with you, even though I didn't mention anything here. Some readings. So basically, in every week, I'll be giving some readings to you, and some textbooks also I'll be giving it to you.